Grønn torsdag.
All and welcome to this webinar. We are gathered to hear women and youth from Lebanon and Norway discuss key issues affecting them, especially in the political, economic, gender equality, and also about how you organize. And I especially want to thank the Lebanese who are with us tonight. You are under attack, and today 30 were killed, as far as I can see, up in the northeast in the Hermel. And we are concerned for all of you. And we're also grateful to our host, Grønn Torsdag, Anders Mestranda especially, who said yes to organize this once we asked him. We are on their platform. And now these webinars, this is the first in the series, they form part of a joint project, strengthening democracy between the GPL, Green Party of Lebanon, and MDG. And it's funded by the Norwegian government agency, Norway. And 2 Lebanese representatives will also visit Norway in March next year, while we are not allowed to visit Lebanon for the time being. So by sharing experiences and perspectives, the session aims to foster more collaboration, build networks, and explore how we can make initiatives together. Just to mention, in a separate series of webinars, we will also talk about conflicts in politics in Lebanon and the countries related to Lebanon. More will come about that later. So, for those who maybe don't know, in Norway, the Green Party of Lebanon is in a special position. It has members from most of the sects. There are like 18 registered sects in Lebanon. And while the other parties usually represent one or just a few of them. So tonight, first we will hear from 2 Lebanese women, then 2 from Norway, and then youth representatives from each. And we make a panel and a question and answer. So first out, we have from Lebanon, Vanda Ramia. And just briefly, you are a member of the political bureau, a lot of experience, and you will talk, as far as I know, about Lebanese women history and the present situation. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this valuable opportunity to connect and collaborate with our green colleagues in Norway and all over the world. Am I heard properly? Okay. I'm Vanda Ramya, and I have the privilege of serving as a political board member where I am responsible for women's issues and advocacy. Thus, I focus on championing women's rights and on supporting policy initiatives that empower women and focus on ensuring that our voices are not just heard, but are instrumental in shaping our community's future. I firmly believe that empowering women is a catalyst for broader social change. We, as Green Party Political Board, are committed to addressing the unique challenges women face, whether through advocating for equitable policies or fostering leadership opportunities and supporting community initiatives. Therefore, today I speak on behalf of Lebanese women who are carrying an extraordinary weight. To begin with, you all know that our country has been struggling with deep-rooted social challenges, from economic hardships to political instability to limited access to healthcare and social services, in addition to unequal social opportunities. Furthermore, the devastating impact of war adds a new layer of suffering. Yet, despite these hardships, Lebanese women have continued to rise, to try to participate in the political scene when possible, try to support their communities, proving time and again that they are pillars of strength and compassion. The Green Party of Lebanon and the Green Party of Norway share a commitment to women's empowerment. Through this cooperation, we hope to join efforts to ensure the founding of sustainable bases and roadmaps for Lebanese women to realize their goals amidst these storms, especially in times of crisis and war. These layered challenges arise from severe economical, social issues added to displacement and security issues, which, in the context of escalating conflict, human security, particularly for women and children, is critically compromised because our daily lives are impacted by shortages, safety threats, and limited access to basic services. Obviously, women are often the primary caregivers and play a crucial role in maintaining family stability despite the unprecedented pressures in safeguarding their families' well being and supporting their communities. Thus, the need for support exists on two critical levels. The first, alleviating daily hardships, and the second level, empowering women to have an influential voice in Lebanon's political process. Consequently, this cooperation with the Greens of the world and the Green Party of Norway through sharing experiences and supporting the building of local programs for resilience, community organizing, crisis management, and through focusing on health, security, and social issues. By supporting such initiatives that offer the fundamental resources, we can empower women to rise above these daily hardships and have the stability they need to pursue their social and political aspirations. We come now to the second level, enabling political participation. Lebanese women are not just victims of the current situation, they are leaders and change makers. They deserve to play an active role in shaping Lebanon's future. Despite their strength and resilience, they are vastly underrepresented in the political sphere. So we need allies who believe in Lebanese women's potential and are willing to help us create spaces for women's voices to be heard. Therefore, we urgently call on our green colleagues to help amplify our voices and to advocate for a quick ceasefire in Lebanon. We need peace. We need peace to rebuild, heal, and foster stability. On one hand, your support could also be in mobilizing international attention through demonstrations, sit ins, calls for humanitarian aid, drawing attention to the impact of war on civilians, and advocating for peace. On the other hand, this could be supporting training programs in leadership and good governance, advocating for policies that promote gender equality, or even further still, helping to amplify voices of women already working on change on the ground. Finally, our vision is clear, a future where Lebanese women not only safe but also empowered to participate fully in shaping a peaceful and just society. I invite each of you to consider how you can contribute, whether through partnership, advocacy, or by spreading awareness. Together with all the Greens in the world, we are trying to lay the groundwork for transformative change, and we look forward to a continued partnership that will provide solidarity and complete support in these difficult times. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask when our coordinator permits. Thank you.
Shukran, Vanda. Very good. And now I give the word to Shireen Yurdi. You are in Jordan now, as I understand. You get some relief from the situation. Shireen is a member of the executive board of the GPL, and you also have a lot of international work. And later you will talk about that and inform the board of the Norwegian Green Women about that. But now the word is yours about Lebanon.
Thank you so much, Barty. Just for the record, I'm not running away from the fears and the insecurity in Lebanon. It's just that there is a regional meeting on the women, peace, and security in Jordan. And I'm very honored to be part of this process where women from the region, from different region in MENA is meeting. Just to thank my colleague and sister Vanda for her presentation, the way she portrayed to us the position of women in general. I want to also shed light on the participation of the women in Green Party of Lebanon within the international context within the Green Party. And I want to say that, as you see within the structure of, because there's always a structure that helps you in being in different parts, and a structure within the Green Party that also gives you the real capacity and the real knowledge so that you can maneuver along when you are in different spaces. And this is what the Green Party of Lebanon was able to provide. A transformative approach for women in general. Within the context of Lebanon, as we are unfortunately aligned along confessional political structures, the Green Party of Lebanon is able to provide this intersectional approach within women from different areas so that they can be able to approach also the political discussion within their own discourse. Our participation within the International Green Forum is within, for example, the APGF. I represent the APGF, and when we talk about the APGF, it's the Asia Pacific Federation. There we try to raise what's happening in Lebanon in terms of the political discussion. We try to gender the political debate, and at the same time, we try also to raise things that can be of commonality between the Asia Pacific in general, because at times maybe our political issues intersects with European context, as the Mediterranean can unite us. Our historical background also unite us. So it gives us also like an ample of space. So we have this connection, and lately we were able also out of the priorities of the region to come up and collaborate on the Palestine group. In this Palestine group, we actively participated with our sisters and brothers from Palestine Green Party, and we engaged the other parties from the Arab world. And this is a very good opportunity for the connection and interlinkages between the Arab Green parties, not only to engage them, but also to show them how it is that through this green space, we can make the change. Through this Palestine group, we try to raise issues such as the necessity of a ceasefire and the emergency of a ceasefire, the emergency and the necessity of demilitarization, the context of complicity and raising the Arms Trade Treaty, Article 7.4, and other articles that put states as complicit once they send weapons to areas where they have conflict or where there like possible genocide that can be happening out of sending weapons. And at the same time, we raise the issue of the contamination of water, the lack of food security, and other things, shedding light on Palestine, just for us also to be included in this, unfortunately, crisis response in terms of Lebanon and what Lebanon, though there were some skirmishes along the borders starting October 8th, but still a whole war was inflicted on us on the 23rd of September. And up till now, yesterday, just this quote unquote, according to Lebanese statistics, there are 36 villages that were completely destroyed in Lebanon, and 14,000 units that is also completely destroyed. So we're all in all these spaces to shed light and to talk about what is happening, to call for collective solidarity, to raise the political discussion along the different boundaries. And at the same time, we have the women group. I was there for a period of 2 years, and now my colleague Navia, I think she's in the room. Now it's headed by my colleague. Now Navia is represented in this women group. And in this women group, Navia was able also to be the EU Green election, to be the observer for the EU Green elections as an observer from MENA. We have, I'm sure you know my colleague Najah Jaroush. Najah, she was the representative for the Global Greens, and she has amazing work. I would like to share this in here, where Najah was trying also to raise the, I would say, awareness and to complete the narrative and to talk about a narrative that represents the people in conflict, especially for us in Lebanon and in Palestine, about what is happening in the region. Unfortunately, at many times we were not able to get a statement that can represent the green values within the European context. Our colleague Najah tried to work hard for that. And now there's another representative, it's Michelle, and I think also Michelle is doing the same thing. We see just within, and this is where I want to bring the nexus. So within the Palestine group and this like delegation to the Global Greens and the connection. So it's the accumulation of knowledge and the accumulation of this, the changing of the shift of the narrative. I think it's in a way or another making a change because of the role of these women, or over the years, how they were pushing forward to the narrative of justice, to the narrative of inclusive peace, to the narrative of an end to occupation, an end to colonialization, to green values that has justice and clean energy and other things at the heart. Maybe I will stop here so that we can open discussions. We can have more of a Q&A that can help us better understand the dynamics of the participation. But before I end, I want to say also that I met Barty in Korea in the Congress, and that was the beginning of maybe some kind of these meetings. And this is like when we say when the party believes and trust the role and the path that women paves, this is the result. An inclusive, participatory approach across different borders, and to bring really the sustaining peace that we want to have across, like in our different political systems, so that we can have really according to maybe SDG 16 or SDG 17 and other kinds of sustainable development goals that we plan. Thank you.
Shukran, Shireen, and for your sharing about your also work, the women of the Green Party of Lebanon in peace in the region, actually. And yes, we met in Korea, and if you hadn't been there, I don't think we would have been sitting here tonight. So from the Middle East, we move to Norway, and we are so lucky to have with us one of the founding members, Birte Simonsen, and you will talk a bit about the role of gender equality and other stuff from the Green Party of Norway. So we will have some of that experience, hopefully helpful for the people in Lebanon. Birte.
Very good. Thank you very much. I thought the picture was a little bit frozen. And I just want to thank you for those moving issues that you're working with. And when I was asked to talk about my experience about being a founder of the Green Party in Norway, I think it's a little bit not so serious that the work you are doing. But in a way, it's much of the same problems and much of the same things that happened. And I think I will take you back first to the 60s when I read a book of Rachel Carson, The Silent Spring. And I was very young and I thought somebody has to do something with the world. We can't have that world that are going in that bad direction. And when I was 22 in the 70s, I was elected for the first time to the municipality council from the Socialist Party, because we didn't have a Green Party at this time. And as we were sitting there, we were a few women and a lot of men. And there was a lot of discussion, and I asked myself, is this discussion we are going to have? Is this the right thing? Because Norway at that time, a lot of economical growth in our country, but what we forgot was to discuss the real challenges in the world. We discussed how to be more rich and having more things and cars and houses and so on. And under that, we had all those other discussions about women's liberation, about growing ecologist problems. So I thought we needed a party. And then we were a group of people discussing how do we make a green party in Norway that can bring all these problems together. Because somebody thought about women, somebody thought about the ecology, and somebody about different things. But how do we bring these to be a party that can take care of all these things? And we worked for several years, and we was very inspired by the Green Party in Tasmania, which was the first Green Party in the world. And we looked at what they had as their most important issues. And then in 1988, we came together, and then we founded the Norwegian Green Party. And it was four important issues that was in our values. The one was ecology, so we hope to get that ecological moments into the party. The second was solidarity, because we should bring together every people in the world. And the next one was equality between genders, equality in all ways. And the fourth and last was peace. And then we had those four legs to stand on and hoped that this should be a party that was growing very big and could take over how the Norwegian politics should change. But we are still small, but I think many of the other parties brought in many of our ways of thinking. But the problem is that they haven't the tools to solve these problems that we have. They talk a lot about it, but we need hard tools. We need to change a lot of our way of living. And I think that's why the feminist perspective also are so important, because I think there are things that women see in other ways. I remember one of the first issues I brought into the municipality council in the 70s was that we needed good kindergartens, and the men said, "Why? The mothers has to be at home and take care of the children. But if the women should work outside, we needed good kindergartens." And at that time we had some, but they was 4 hours a day, so that the mothers could just wash their house and go and pick up their children again after that. So I think a lot of the perspectives that we can bring in, and also the ecological perspectives from the movements. I think many men that I met in the first time that we were founding the party, they had a very scientific approach to the way they should solve these problems. And it was so difficult for normal people to understand what it was. So I think we have to have that narrative that could bring daily way of speaking into these problems and tell people what is really is what we have to do. And it's a little bit funny that one other case that was important in these first 70s, when I was in the municipality council, it was that we should have paper sorted in the garbage, take out the paper. And in the municipality council, they say, "Why? We can just put everything together and burn it." And then we had a long discussion about what is important. And now I don't think people discuss if we should take the paper to the side in the garbage. So we just have to keep going and come with all those important issues that we have. But I think to see everything as a whole is this holistic perspective that is so important for our Green parties. We can't talk about women's liberation on the one hand and ecological issues in the other. You have to see it in one case, and we have also to put the peace question into the same way of thinking. So I think that's our issue that we have to front. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Birte. It's actually the first time I hear about the founding of the Green Party, Norway, and the women's role in it. Very interesting. And also all the things that happened in the positive sense since then. Right. And now there are still some challenges left, as far as I understand. And we have Katrine Nødtvedt with us. You are the former head of the women's network. Now it's Anne Sophia, but you're still in there, and you're also a spokesperson for gender equality. And we meet regularly. You are a member of the city council here and have had several roles in the party. Very experienced. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bjarte. I would also like to start with saying thank you to our Lebanese colleagues. Thank you so much for sharing from your experience, and I look forward to collaborating even more with you. And I think we can have a lot of fruitful exchanges over these next months and years. And also thank you, Birte, for sharing about the foundation and the start of the party. Building on what Birte was saying, I think this development of women taking larger roles in politics is something we've seen in Norwegian society and in politics in general over the last decades or the last century. And some important causes, of course, that the women's movement have been fighting for here in Norway are, for example, reproductive rights. And it's kind of scary to talk about that in a day where we have a new president in the United States that we know has been and is going to continue to reverse some of the basic rights of women in that country. So I think being attentive to our history and not taking these victories for granted is something that we need to do in all of our countries, because conservative forces are moving everywhere. So to sum up a little bit the status quo or the situation in Norway right now, when it comes to women's participation in politics, there is approximately gender balance in the number of female representatives in both our National Assembly, where there are 45% women representatives, as well as in local city councils, where we have approximately 40% female representation. We also have quite a few female party leaders, and we have had 2 women prime ministers. So the situation in Norway is not really that it's impossible to succeed or that few women access politics, but I will talk a little bit about the nuances in this. We see that there is still an imbalance in some types of positions, such as mayor's positions in local politics. 70% of Norwegian mayors are men. So there is still an imbalance at the local level there for the top roles. And I think it's also worth to reflect on which types of women have been succeeding in politics and in other leadership positions in Norway so far. Because I would claim that at least at the very top level of leadership and politics, there is still a quite a masculine culture. There's still quite the expectations that one should perform according to masculine ideals, performance, effectiveness, being tough-skinned, being competitive, etc. I don't think that the culture has changed that much in the direction of appreciating the feminine values in the same way. And I think that's quite a dilemma. It's difficult to do something about, but I think we as a party at least are working towards also changing the conditions under which we operate. I also wanted to mention one remaining challenge in terms of participation for Norwegian women is the different kind of threat and harassment that you receive as a woman compared to a man. We know from statistics that male politicians and female politicians receive the same amount of harassment, online harassment and so on. But the type of harassment is different. For women, more of it is gender-based, gender-oriented, and more of it is sexual. And I think being attacked for who you are and your gender and something as vulnerable as your sexuality, that is perhaps more frightening than being attacked for what you mean and your political opinions. And that can be a factor that hinders some women from participating today, both the fear of receiving it and the reaction, if you actually try to get engaged, your reaction to receiving that kind of response. We also have issues in Norway with some groups of the population being very underrepresented in political debates, not really having access to the same freedom of expression as other groups. For example, disabled people, disabled women, minority women, minority in terms of immigrant women or women with a different language or religion than the majority, as well as queer women. And in the Green movement or the Green Party here in Norway, as well as around the world, I'm really proud that we have accepted this intersectional perspective on feminist issues. So we are trying to be aware of these double or triple identities and the ways that people can be blocked from participation and blocked from speaking in distinct ways based on their combination of identities. And that's also something that I would really like to discuss further with you in Lebanon, because you are such a many-faceted population, and it seems that the Green Party has really succeeded in incorporating members from different groups with different backgrounds, and I really want to learn from that. So to talk finally a little bit about how we in the Green Party in Norway work to counter these issues with gender equality and with intersectional discrimination. We, for example, in the Women's Network, we try to work both with the political causes that are important to women and for equality. And in that way, we also serve as an arena for meeting, for learning, and for developing political skills among our female members, but also male members or members with other genders that are interested in feminist issues. We also have a set of ethical standards that apply to all members, and especially those in positions of trust and positions of power in our party, that I think are quite good at shaping, or at least outlining how a party culture could be that is, I think, more inclusive and incorporates more of the caring values that I think we need to really be a feminist party. But there is always a long way to go, and ethical standards on a paper are nothing in itself. You have to also practice and live by it. We also have a dedicated person in our party that is responsible for receiving and handling complaints about sexual harassment. And I think that's also very important to have this safety net for people experiencing that. And we know even in our party, even though people might not think that there are problems with sexual harassment, there is, and there is everywhere in all parties, in all movements. And finally, we also, in addition to the women's network, we are so lucky to have engaged party members that have started a minority network, where Tanya, who is in the meeting, is the leader right now of this newly formed network. We have a disability network, also with a female leader, and we have a queer network. And I think these network structures have been very helpful for mobilizing groups of individuals that we want to kind of lift forward and give a stronger voice than they have had in both our party and in Norwegian politics in general. So that was what I had prepared, and I look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Katrine, for this overview of the Green Party's activities and organs. Very good. Now our Lebanese coordinator project, Fadi Al-Jamal, just wanted to add something about the activities of the GPL regarding women.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I would like to thank you for that meeting. Then I have a short intervention. Just to add some about our women GPL women's work. Let me say firstly that the leadership of GPL women of GPL party is divided. We are 42 members, and we are 21 women and 21 men. The second, I want to give the credit also to my colleagues. Women, GPL women did run for parliament. Our last president, Nada Zarour, and our colleague Vanda, she is with us now. They ran for the 2018 election. And then among us in this meeting, there is also Marie-Thérèse Seff. She is working hard in the UN on women issues, and not to forget also our colleague Nidal Shibli and the others. They are working on biodiversity. I want also just a few words about the GPL women's role during the 2019 what we call it Saura revolution in Lebanon. They were so effective. They played their role endorsing this uprising. Thank you for giving me the floor just to add something about GPL's women activity. Thank you.
Shukran, Fadi. I just can confirm that I was there in 2019, and I was surprised to see how many women and youth were in the streets and actually sometimes leading the demonstrations. And like I see you, the women in the room here now, with an open hair and so on. And I know there are also conservative situation in Lebanon and in large parts of the Middle East, but I really like to see also there are some aspects of freedom there that you have. So very good. Now, neither Fadi nor me, we are young, nor are we women. Exactly. But we have youth with us, and we also are very, I would say, positive towards all. Fadi and we cooperate very well, and an important part of this project is women and youth to increase the participation of both groups. So I want to give the floor now to Roda Abialam. You are in the executive board of the GPL, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Radan Abi Allam, a Lebanese architect and the youth representative in the executive board of the Green Party of Lebanon. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Lebanese youth, especially those in the Green movement. Today, our voices carry a powerful message of resilience, hope, and an urgent call for action amid the Lebanese current turmoil. Our youth are faced with daily obstacles, economic struggles, political instability, and a growing sense of disillusionment. Yet they remain determined to shape a better future. I want to start by sharing some of the pivotal roles and experiences of Lebanese youth who have consistently demonstrated courage, unity, and the will to drive change, even when the odds seem insurmountable. So first, I want to talk about the youth's role in the 2019 uprising. Lebanese youth made their mark during the 2019 uprising, or Thawra, as Fadi Jamal stated, a movement that united people across religious, social, and economic lines in a historic show of solidarity. This uprising began as a reaction to government corruption, economic collapse, and decades of mismanagement, which have impacted every aspect of daily life. Young people from all corners of Lebanon organized protests, leveraging social media to mobilize and spread their message of change, equality, and justice. Their role went beyond protest. Lebanese youth became leaders, strategists, and advocates for a better Lebanon. They played critical role in many ways, such as organizing and leading protests. So youth organized protests across the nation from Beirut to Tripoli, underscoring a message of unity and diversity. These young leaders relied on social media like Twitter, Facebook, or WhatsApp to coordinate events and ensure that the spirit of this uprising was felt across Lebanon. Social media allowed them to bypass traditional power structures and get real-time information, which was critical in sustaining the movement and spreading its message worldwide. Another role youth played was articulating social economic demands. So youth activists became the voice for a generation grappling with unemployment, inflation, and an uncertain future. They raised their voices against the sectarian-based power system that was long dominated Lebanese politics. Many young people, unemployed or forced to take low-paying jobs, felt that they had little hope of achieving a stable, fulfilling life in Lebanon under the current system. By articulating these demands, youth made it clear that their struggle wasn't just political, but also it was deeply personal. One other role was creating spaces for dialogue. Young people started a movement that helped people from all backgrounds talk openly with each other. They held forums and gatherings that encouraged people to engage in conversations about the future of Lebanon. These dialogues allowed Lebanese people to set aside sectarian divisions and think collectively about solutions to the country's issue, which was a revolutionary idea. Young people coming together to discuss the kind of Lebanon they wanted to build, regardless of religious or social backgrounds. Environmental advocacy was also a role youth played back then. The youth movement also highlighted environmental issues that the government had neglected for years. From waste management to pollution and deforestation, they raised awareness on these challenges and organized cleanup campaigns in a country where government inaction on environmental issues had caused public health and ecological crisis. These youth-led initiatives were a powerful statement of responsibility and accountability. As for the role they played on nonviolent resistance and innovation, the commitment of nonviolence was central to the youth-led movement. Youth people adopted innovative tactics like art installations, sit-ins, music performances, and even blocking roads with peaceful gathering. This creativity not only had media attention, but also captured the public's imagination. It showed the world that this generation was determined to resist, not with violence, but with vision and artistry. Youth also advocated for women's rights. Women were at the forefront of the 2019 protests. Young women in Lebanon played prominent roles, leading marches and calling for equal rights, representation, and protection against gender-based violence. This involvement was a powerful reminder that social justice is intertwined with gender equality. Women activists wanted to change society and create a Lebanon where everyone is treated fairly. So, as for the legacy of the uprising, even though the young people leading the uprising faced a lot of challenges and were stopped by the government, they still had a big impact on Lebanese politics. They showed everyone that young people have the power and ideas to change the system. Even though many were arrested and threatened, their movements made people more aware of their civic duties and brought attention to Lebanon's problem worldwide. This inspired young people in the region to fight for their right and prove that change is possible, no matter how hard it is. I want to share a message of hope and partnership. As part of the Green Youth Movement, we stand here not just with demands, but with a message of solidarity. This cooperation with the Greens worldwide, and particularly our friends in Norway, symbolize a shared purpose. We see this partnership as an opportunity to learn, to collaborate, and to gain support that will help us tackle the challenges we face daily. Lebanese youth are resilient, but international partnership can amplify their efforts and give them the resources they need to create sustainable change. As for our expectations for the future, we have clear expectations from this partnership and from the world at large. Lebanese youth are not looking for temporary solution. We are calling for comprehensive change that will build a strong, inclusive, and just Lebanon. Our expectations are focused on several core ideas, such as an end to violence, political reform and accountability, economic opportunities, education and skill development, environmental protection and sustainable development, and last, youth participation in decision making. So, in closing, I'd like to emphasize the journey Lebanese youth are on in challenging, but it's one we are committed to. Despite the obstacles, we remain focused on the goal of a Lebanon where peace, fairness, and opportunity are accessible to all. The support and solidarity we receive from our partners around the world, including the Greens in Norway, are essential. This partnership reassures us that we are not facing these issues alone and that change can be driven collectively. Our vision is to build a Lebanon that values its diversity, foster economic opportunity, and listen to its youth. To achieve this, we need strong allies. We invite you to stand with us in advocating for peace and reforms that prioritize public welfare. Together, we can push for the political accountability, social justice, and environmental sustainability that Lebanon urgently needs. As we move forward, let's remember that each action counts. Your support in amplifying our voices and spreading our message make a difference. Together, we can work toward a future that offers hope, stability, and opportunity for the next generation. Thank you for your commitment to this journey with us. We are confident that with continued partnership, a better Lebanon is within reach.
Thank you, Rodin, for your sharing and all the work the youth in Lebanon has been doing and is doing to change for a better life for everybody. Now we go to the Norwegian youth, and first we have with us Øyunn, who is just recently elected the international contact of the Green Youth. A student normally in Germany, and to be honest, I don't know exactly where you are now, Øyunn, but you can share more before Vilde will take the floor.
Thank you, Bjarte. Yes, I am I am in Germany, and I am in the library of my university. So I hope that the surrounding sounds are not disturbing. If they are, I can try to move, but just let me know. Yes, so the Green Youth of Norway, or Grønn Ungdom, was founded as the Youth Party of the Greens in 1996, only 8 years after the Mother Party. And the Youth Party consists of more than 2,000 members and is structured mainly on a regional and national level. We have a national board, an executive board, which is what I am part of as international officer, and we have a control committee. We also join multiple bodies of the Mother Party, and many there have experienced that we are the better part of the Green Party, meaning that the youth are well prepared, more structured, and good at watching after gender equality and democratic structures. It is, for example, expected for our executive board that we have 11 members and that half of them are men and half of them are women. Each year, a national congress is held, which has authority over the organization in terms of political opinions and organizational matters. All Green Youth members are welcome to attend this yearly congress, and there we allow no alcohol or drugs because it should be available and safe for all our members who are between 12 and 28 years old. This is also something we want for the Greens to take into consideration when they held their congress. So the Green Youth Party and our yearly congress serves to teach young people how democracy and politics works, and to show through personal experience that it is possible to influence the politics of this country. Also, we are very lucky to be part of a global green movement fighting against climate change, mass extinction of species, and injustice in other ways. This is organized as the institution's Federation of Young European Greens and the Global Young Greens. Our collaboration there is especially focused on our neighboring countries in the north, like Sweden and Finland. And then I want to give the word to Vilde, which is going to talk more about how we're structured.
Yes, thank you, Ayin. It was very nice to hear you talk about our history. And I must say that I also feel very inspired listening to all of your other perspectives and stories. I'm lucky enough to take you through how we are organized and what types of events we're arranging in the Green Youth of Norway. Firstly, we are hosting a lot of thematic evenings and social gatherings, both on a local and a more broad level, just to bring our members together and give them a social platform where they're allowed to learn about new topics in a safe and inclusive space. And here, a significant amount of focus is put on our election campaigns and different activities where we can work on policy development and also prepare for debates and participating in other political events. And when it comes to debates, we're especially active in school debates, which are targeted to students, mostly first-time voters in high school. And they happen every year. And this is a very important yearly thing for us. And we spend a lot of time in equipping our members for participating in these school debates and also for talking to other people that might be interested in joining the youth party or becoming more politically active. And also, we are engaged in a lot of political trainings with the Greens, as we are lucky enough to have some seats in their meetings. And we also happen to work a lot on promoting political proposals to the Greens of Norway. And we actually have a requirement for some of our members from the Green Youth to attend the annual meetings of MDG, or the Greens of Norway. And as Øyunn said, here we are generally known to be more efficient and organized, maybe a bit more than our mother party, and it can really reflect a very conscious and democratic culture among the youth in the Greens. And this conscious and democratic culture is also practiced on what is for many the highlight of the year, which is our summer camps. One is held in Norway and the other one is held in Åland Islands. The last one is a collaboration with the other Nordic Young Greens. And it's an amazing opportunity to network and to work on problems that function across borders. And moreover, we are working a lot on recruiting new members and visiting schools, as I talked about a bit earlier. And to these things, we are also bringing campaign materials, such as flyers, buttons, tote bags, and even condoms to promote our message to a young group. And for us in the Green Youth, social media is also a huge part of our work. That's where we find a lot of our members. We know that they're active there, and we know that we can reach them by using Instagram and TikTok. And for us, it's also very important that being a member of the Green Youth of Norway is accessible. So we have a very nice membership fee, which is around 50 Norwegian kroners, which is around $4.5. Yes, but as many other organizations, we are also facing some challenges. I do recognize a lot from what Grønt Kvinnenettverk said. Something that we often hear as young people is that we lack experience to be politically active, which leads to a lot of young people that have political opinions not to be heard or to be overshadowed by older politicians just because we supposedly lack experience. But at the same time, when the average age of a political or like a politician in Norway is over 50 years old, how are they supposed to understand the struggles that young people are facing today, such as long waiting lines for psychological help, schools and cultural problems, constantly being in danger of being shut down, and students expected to be full-time students, but at the same time, not being able to because they're facing financial problems and are picked or are forced to pick up extra jobs while they're also studying, and being social and having a healthy lifestyle. Another challenge, which was talked a bit about earlier, is that young people in politics are facing harassment, and this is especially targeted to women and to minorities, with different comments, as it was talked a bit about earlier today. And as we don't have a very long tradition of being a youth party, we are also often exchanged with other green organizations that are not necessarily a part of a political party. And I think that we are losing a lot of potential members to these organizations. And it's also for us a bit worrying that many of these far-right parties are gaining such a big social impact in these days. If there's anything you want an answer for, please feel free to ask a bit later. If not, Ayun, feel free to add anything.
Okay, Vilde, thank you. And Vilde, just briefly say, you are also the Green Youth representative in this cross-political youth party project with Lebanon, which is running in parallel with this one. You were in Cyprus recently, meeting some of the young Lebanese politicians from other parties. Okay, now we are a bit further into the program than we thought, but between the speakers, if you have any comments or questions to each other, we can take a couple of them now, or we go to the other people in the room here so they can make questions and comments. None of the speakers. So then we open the floor. Anybody wants to say something? You are welcome. There we go. Fadi Abialam, the president of the Green Party of Lebanon.
Thank you. I would like to thank you so much, Mr. Biarti, and for sure, Fadi and amazing staff organizing such a great event. And it is really a very special one by today for us while we are following, let's say, through media military operations. Now we are following with you another kind of operation. It's a green operation. It's a peace operation. Really, it's something very special for us by today. And now whatever we are doing, it is something that we need. And the war in Lebanon, it is not a war just against the Lebanese. It is actually against humanity. War everywhere, on all over the globe, it is the responsibility of everyone. So how is it for us as green and having the green mission? This war, it is our war as well. But our war from other side, we are giving the hope. We are giving the real peace. We are giving the real future. Thank you so much. And whatever you are doing today, it is a stone. It is a cornerstone. That's what we need here in our region. And hopefully such a tree will see it more and more covering all the country again by green seeders. And you are the seeders, all of you, by tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fadi. And you were, from the very beginning when we met in January, you were positive about establishing this connection, and we work very well together. Thank you. Tanya.
Hello, good evening, and I also give thanks for arranging this event. I would like to say some wise words of my people, the Fulani, that is translated to English from Arabic, and I hope in few words it can contribute to encapsulate this meeting. Knowledge is universal and eternal, but it has social and cultural stamp. It also has a purpose and a commitment to a particular worldview, therefore it cannot be neutral. Furthermore, you know, the fight for peace is also a fight for the environment, and I would also like to say, as a leader of the Green Minority Network, it is something that is near and dear to me. Today, the ones to bear the brunt and the consequences of war and environmental changes are not the one who started it, but many let out to make a change. And I hope with this partnership that we have, that we are reversing this and are making a future change for the good. And as the Norwegian Green Party does welcome so many people of different ethnic and cultural backgrounds to join and engage, and I'm very happy for this. And we have we have many positive, progressive enactments, But like Katrina said in the beginning, although emerging, is still far and few between. Women, different minorities like national and otherwise, people with different disabilities, and people who are queer. So it is important to highlight that fighting for the environment is not a singular battle. It is grounded in intersectional solidarity. And I'm very happy to say, and I feel it's very safe to say, that we do prioritize inclusivity, and we see that very well today from Birte, who is one of this party member, and I'm very happy also to hear from you guys from GPL. It is very encouraging for us in what we do here in Norway as well. So I just want to close by saying, wherever we live, we are stewards of the earth. We must work to dismantle doctrines that has led to both direct and indirect environmental problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. Very valuable inputs there, and your work with the Minority Network, which is recently formed this spring, actually, so it's quite new. A part of this project we have together is the recruitment and keeping members so we can grow. And I wonder if Vilde and Øyunn would be sharing a bit about your social media work. What are you doing? Because you are succeeding. You have, like, as far as I don't know, like 2,000 members with the Green Youth, and you're doing a very good. Katrina was mentioning the education part, the schooling. I don't know what to call it. Can you give a few words about that? Maybe there will be some inspiration, knowledge sharing.
Yeah, I guess I can start, and Willy, you can add things if you want. So yeah, social media is used to reach out to youth, and it's a very good way to compromise like a political topic that is very complex. and saying what our opinion is in like a few sentences. So this is a good way because the attention span of young people is also very short. So we are kind of forced to do it in a good way. And also we are trying to show that being part of the movement is something fun. So when we have a meeting, we can also show the good food we're eating, or that we are together with others and having fun, like with the summer camp, that we are also just doing fun stuff like swimming in the ocean. So I think that is important for the social media channels in general. And also it's for free and it's a platform for everyone. Of course, it's not good when people experience hate. And this is something we also touched upon, that especially young women are more met with hate in internet. So it's important for us to also school everyone that is part of the Green Youth, to talk to them about what they should do if that happens, and to show that we are a community helping each other. So yeah, also between these arenas where we meet physically and we engage with each other, we teach each other about the political topic, but also how to debate, which is good to make a better, the feeling of having something to say and empowerment. I think this is also a key to the success of like keeping the members that are active, because they see they gain much with being part of this.
Okay. Vilde, you want to add something?
No, it's perfect what Jørn said. What I also really enjoy with these things, and that got me into politics myself, is that to start, you don't need a lot of political experience. You are picking up a lot on your way and you're constantly being helped. And you get to do it in a very fun and social way where you're not being judged if you're not too sure about something.
Right. And just to add to that, the candidate from this county, Hordaland, is an 18-year-old young woman, Freya. She is running for parliament in the elections in 1 year, and she's the youngest ever in Norway, not just the Green Party. And age was, in a way, a topic, but actually she won the approval of the Green Party locally, and now she is running, and she quit school. Yeah, it's true. Like 2 weeks ago, and now she's committing herself full time to run for parliament. I just wonder about maybe Rodin, you want to say something a bit more about the challenges, how to get more youth in Lebanon with you. I know economy is one difficult thing. Are there other things stopping youth from participating?
Yes. Actually, engaging more youth in Lebanon to join the movement for change come with several challenges, but it's not impossible. The key is to understand the barriers they face and address them effectively. Disillusionment of lack of trust. Actually, many young people in Lebanon feel disconnected from the political process due to years of corruption, mismanagement, and broken promises. To overcome this, we need to rebuild trust by showing that change is possible and that their voices can actually make a difference. This involves transparency in leadership, consistent action, and clear results from the initiative we launched. And some other ideas actually, like economic pressure maybe, or sectarian division. Yeah.
Corruption is a big problem, and the political system, as far as I understand, how the quotas for the different sects are actually, in a way, blocking a lot of participation. Now, Katrina.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Rodin a follow-up question. I think it's super inspiring to hear about how young people took leadership roles and important roles in the uprising, and I wondered if you achieved some concrete victories since that time. Have you seen any kind of wins or some progress in the areas where you had political demands, or are the challenges still remaining, so to say?
Rodan, are you?
Yeah, so actually, the revolution, the Thawra we talked about, was a major achievement, but perhaps not in the traditional sense of immediate political change. While the movement didn't result in an instant reform many hoped for, it marked a monumental shift in Lebanese political and social landscape, especially in terms of youth engagement and activism.
I have more questions, but I really want you people to have the opportunity, so just feel free. Well, you can pop up when you're ready. I also wonder about the Lebanese women. You said something, of course, Vanda and Shireen, and some of the conservative forces, so to say, in the country are maybe hindering the participation, at least of some women. Could you say something about those challenges for women to participate, either being what you might call cultural or economic, or just to have the time to do it?
I can tell you out of my experience.
Yeah.
I tried to run, as a candidate in the 2018 elections, and of course, it was very fruitful as to giving me information. We lost, of course, we did not win, but I learned a lot from that experience. I knew that you need a lot of money in able to become a representative in Lebanon. It is costly. First of all, you have to pay a big sum to the government, and you have to pay a lot of money in your campaign. I think it's like anywhere else in the world, but with not all people are economically so well-to-do. And then the laws should be changed. As a beginning, we should have a quota of like 20% of the representatives to be women. It's not nice. I know there is some kind of gender differences, etc. I'm against that. I try to work to reach equality, but as a beginning, if we start with a quota, it might be helpful. Now we have only like 8 women in the parliament out of how many? 128 members. Now this is only 7%. This is such a low percentage. And the women are very well educated. We have, and women make 51% of the population in Lebanon. So there are many factors that collaborate to stop women from reaching the parliament. Even those who won, they won for other reasons than their efficiency. Not maybe because they were related to former presidents or ministers, etc. So it's not easy to win, but the number of women running for these elections is really encouraging. In the year 2018, we had 86 women running. In the year 2022, we had 157. I know the ones who won were only 8, but women now are encouraged to run and try their best, to win, even though it's a little bit risky with this with our system. Electoral system is not very very just and very fair when it comes to women. Thank you.
Right. I just want to share the screen here. This is from the Thawra, the revolution of 2019.
And we
Sorry?
we joined in these marches and sit-ins, and we really worked hard during that time.
Yeah. So this is downtown Beirut, both women and youth. Very good. Fadi.
Okay. Yes, thank you. May I interfere in answering the question about the victories achieved by youth and women during this uprising? The first achievement was with changing the mentality of Lebanese citizens. And this victory was translated in the elections of 2022, where 13 elected parliament members were elected, and they came from the uprising. I mean, I think we as Lebanese did achieve a lot from this 2019 uprising, but unfortunately, the Lebanese political and sectarian system does not give us more space to achieve more. That's why youth and women and all of us as Greens and as many of Lebanese similar to us, trying to change, trying to work on changing our electoral law. And I think we will succeed somehow. Thank you.
Yes, that may be a topic, a big one for future webinars also. Katrina?
There are lots of things it's interesting to discuss. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, with the current war and all the unrest that you are living through right now, do you see any? I think maybe Wanda and Shireen were touching upon this, but how do you think that this is going to affect women and youth and underrepresented groups' participations in politics moving forward? Because as I think was mentioned, often women take on more of the caretaking roles, and that becomes, of course, much more of a burden when the regular systems are at play, when maybe it's not safe to do things like you usually do. So I was wondering, how is the current war affecting the fight for equality and the future participation in future elections? Are you worried about that?
Who want to go on that from Lebanon?
Do you want me to answer?
You're welcome, Wanda.
And if any of our other Lebanese colleagues would like to answer as well.
Sure.
What
It would be good to
about
have more voices in the room. Marie-Therese?
what about Marie-Therese? Where are you?
Okay, meanwhile, if you can share something, Shireen, Wanda?
Yes, let me just share in short. I did a small research now to the impact of the present war on women. And among the things that I had in terms of findings was that they were worried that this is a pushback against women's political participation, and that women will be put back to the role of humanitarian support and adding all these stereotyping things that women do. On another note, I want to also add that there are certain networks in Lebanon, women networks, who were able to do like some kind of statements to denounce the war, to ask for ceasefire, including some NGOs that work on peace and security. But I would say that unfortunately, the women in parliament or in the ministry, there is one woman in the ministry, they were not vocal enough in terms of their political position, how they were gendering the impact of the conflict on women. I know that they were trying also to do this humanitarian support, just like as other men politicians were trying also to push forward to this. So anyway, there was this. This is the perception that I had out of the focus group discussions. But I see also a place for women to play a role. This is how I see it, because there's a more awareness about the position of women regarding peace processes, role of women. By the way, today I got my certification from UNDPPA as a mediator in ceasefire negotiations. So maybe out of this, I'm saying that women. So at least there is this kind of. There are we have different mediators networks in Lebanon, but still they're not playing also the role that they need to play in terms of peace processes. So the arena is full of lots of outcomes out of the experiences that were, as Redan was talking about the impacts, and Fadi, the impacts of the change, because the change is a pattern, it's a process. So within that process of change, we have been accumulating the process. Thank you, Marie-Thérèse. Marie-Thérèse, if you would like to add also to that, please. It's good to have different perception from women from the Green Party of Lebanon. So I just gave you the findings of a study that I've done. Thank you.
Let's see if we have her with us. And if not, we are actually about time now. It's 1.5 hours we set as a frame for the meeting, but we will meet again several times actually. So if there is no urgent something happening now, I would just like to respect everybody's time. You are busy people, and thank especially the speakers here for your sharing. Very valuable. We consciously now started to get to know each other with sharings, not talking so much about how we're going to cooperate, but that we will continue this and come back to more concrete steps that we can do together. So we will have a visit from Shireen and Fadi coming to Oslo and Bergen next March. And then we will have 3 more webinars, which Anders will set up the platform for us. And we will have these other political and conflict meetings where we also will touch upon the situation of women and youth. So I want to thank you all and wish you a peaceful, if possible, next period until we meet again. Shukran. Thank you all for the meeting.
شكرا. تصبحوا على خير.
Thank you everyone. And a good night.
Thank
تصبحوا على
you.
خير.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Very fruitful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.